please. Are you washed in the blood? John 36.
Gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day that you've given us, and we just thank you for your love and your mercy. And Father, we just pray for the country and for the ones that's going on there. We pray for the leadership of the country.
Bye-bye.
Seek you in everything that they do. We thank you for your love and bless your over. Bless this time together as you bless us through. Amen.
Well, good evening. We have some bad news tonight. We're losing daylight starting tomorrow. Just so you know, we went through summer solstice, and it's that time. It's only going to be about 30 seconds a day for a while, so it'll be okay. But please remember, just remember that. So if it seems you're getting darker earlier, that's exactly what it's doing, okay? But I do remind you, though, please remember July 8th as our business meeting coming up, as we're going to have the opportunity to just sit down and visit with just a lot of the different COVID-19 things related to the church that I'm a firm believer that in this particular case especially, we need to get as many heads together about how we'd like to proceed forward as a church collectively. And if we're not ready to move forward the way sometimes they want us to, that's okay. But we just need to talk about it and have the opportunity to do that. So I want to encourage you to come. Again, it's going to be the 8th of, I'm almost positive it's the 8th of July. It's that Wednesday, because I think the 4th is on Saturday this year. Is that right? Saturday. So please remember that as an opportunity again on July 8th. Hope that, Dads, you guys have a good day. I didn't do anything on my shirt today, Wes. I changed it. No. But I'm glad that you are here tonight, and I'll give this back over to Brother Donnie. We'll do some more singing. Donnie, I'm going to hide right behind you. I won't make any face of that. I promise, okay?
Don't tell Elizabeth she's not up here, but I don't have my hearing aids on. Okay? So I'll get in trouble for that. Tried to take a shower with them last night and put them in a bowl of rice. So they get all. So that's why I'm having my name is Wes. It's just going to be up on your screen. No one ever cared for me like Jesus. I would love to tell you what I think of Jesus, since I found in him a friend so strong and true. I would tell you how he changed my life completely. He did something that no other friend could do. No one ever cared for me like Jesus. There's no other friend so kind as he. No one else could take the sin and darkness from me, or how much he cares for me. Oh, my life was full of sin when Jesus found me. Oh, my heart was full of misery and woe. Jesus placed his strong and loving arms around me, and he led me in the way I ought to go. No one ever cared for me like Jesus. There's no other friend so kind as he. No one else could take the sin and darkness from me, or how much he cared for me. Every day he comes to me with new assurance. More and more I understand his words of love. But I'll never know just why he came to save me, till someday I see his blessed face above. No one ever cared for me like Jesus. There's no other friend so kind as he. No one else could take the sin and darkness from me, or how much he cares for me. You believe that tonight? Jesus cares for us that much. So if he does, then page 282 says we ought to be living for Jesus. Page 282. Living for Jesus, a life that is true, striving to please him in all that living for Jesus, who died in my place, bearing on Calvary my sin and disgrace. Such love constrains me to answer his call. Follow his leading and give him my all. Oh, Jesus, Lord and Savior, I give myself to thee, for thou in thine atonement didst give thyself for me. I own no other master, my heart shall be thy throne. My life I give henceforth to live, O Christ, for thee alone. Living for Jesus through earth's little while, my dearest treasure, the light of his smile. Seeking the lost ones, he died to redeem, bringing the weary to find rest in him. Oh, Jesus, Lord and Savior, I give myself to thee, for thou in thine atonement didst give thyself for me. I own no other master, my heart shall be thy throne. My life I give henceforth to live, O Christ, for thee alone.
Who wrote a song? Anybody bring one? I was hoping somebody did. Me and my allergies are going crazy tonight. So I might make some notes that aren't too good notes. I'm falling apart again over, right? Yes, okay. Can't see, can't hear, can't talk. And sometimes when I get up, I can't walk too well. Sometimes. Very well. Today is Father's Day, right? What did Brother Doug talk about this morning? Talked about fathers and how fathers look at who? Look at you. And that's what this song says. It says, I want to be just like you, talking about God, because my son wants to be just like me. They came from fathers to think about, I want to be just like you. Old school, it's a tape of all things. Sam didn't know what a tape is. But it's a cassette tape. Yeah.
Sorry, that's not my fault.
I didn't go backwards. Do what?
Was that the end of the one before it?
Yeah, that was the one, but I need the one in the middle. It needs to be the last one. I know I can't sing it. That sounds better. Ah, that's not right. That wasn't the beginning. That's part of it, but that wasn't it. Maybe we'll have to wait and sing it another time. We'll try. He climbs in my lap for a good night hug. He calls me dad and I call him bud. With his faded old pillow, hair named Pooh, he snuggles up close and says, I want to be like you. I tuck him in bed and I kiss him goodnight, tripping over the toys as I turn out the light, and I whisper a prayer that someday he'll see he's got a father in God, 'cause he sees Jesus in me. Lord, I want to be just like you, 'cause he wants to be just like me. I want to be a holy example for his innocent eyes to see. Help me be a living Bible, Lord, that my little boy can read. I want to constantly around me.
There's times, can I ask you guys hear me okay? I didn't think of it. Is that a little bit better? Is that better, Steve? See if you guys hear it? You guys all in the back, okay? There's times when I read my Bible, I don't know about you, there's times when I read it and I go, I don't want to do that. You guys ever see that? You may not say necessarily out loud, right? Or you read the Bible and you say to yourself, well, why am I supposed to feel that way? When I read my Bible, there's some passages in there that say, you should rejoice in your suffering. How many of you suffer, run out the front door and go, yay, I'm so glad it happened to me? No, not really, do we? Why not? Because naturally we don't like to suffer. I mean, that's a natural response to, no, that's not going to happen. Well, tonight we're going to look at some passages of Scripture. Why does God allow suffering to happen in your life, my life, and in the world around us? Why does he let that happen? You know, many times people ask the age-old question, why does God let things happen? If he really loves me, if he's really interested in me, why do I have to suffer? Right? And I'll tell you what, over the last it's been going on for years, but really over the last couple of weeks, we're really starting to see persecution directed towards the church. Not to the extent that you see in Muslim-dominated countries around the world. But at the same time, just this past week, I believe it was a district court in California said that the city of Salina, I believe it's pronounced Salina, California, said that the city does not have to allow a church to have a building downtown because it doesn't meet the fun and games that the city wants to have downtown. Slowly, guys, as a church, we will start seeing things come our way. If we do our job right, we should already. Okay? And I think that it's very interesting here is that why does God allow suffering to come into your life, into my life, into the life of the church? Why does it happen? So we're going to be in 1 Peter chapter 4, and I want to share with you this. We just have some very interesting things taking place in our world. But listen to what he says. Peter wrote this. It says, "Beloved, do not think it strange concerning the fiery trial which is to try you, as though some strange thing happened to you. But rejoice in the extent that you partake of Christ's sufferings, that when his glory is revealed, you might also be glad for the exceeding joy. If you are reproached for the name of Christ, blessed are you, for the Spirit of God and of God rests upon you. On their part he is blasphemed, but on your part he is glorified. But none of you suffer as a murderer, a thief, an evildoer, or a busybody, or in other people's matters. Yet if anyone suffers as a Christian, let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify in God in this matter. For this time has come for judgment to begin in the house of God. And if it begins with us first, what will be then of those who do not obey the gospel of God? Now if the righteous one is scarcely saved, where will the ungodly and the sinner appear? Therefore let those who suffer according to the will of God commit their souls to him in doing good as to a faithful Creator." I felt led to share this with you again because I think it's really important that as we look through these things that are going on around us in our life, if you first read the first part of those passages there, it says, don't think of it being strange concerning a fiery trial, which, I want you to, if you haven't done this before, I want you to just underline the word "is." Okay? Because what that is implying right there to us is that it will happen. Okay? It doesn't say in there, it doesn't say which might happen, which might try you. He says, which is to try. It has a purpose behind it. Okay? It's very important. It has a purpose behind it. I've met people over the years, and they want to get mad at God for their own behavior. Right? They want to get mad at God for what they did. They have to blame somebody, so the easiest thing to do is to blame God, because most certainly we do not want to blame ourselves. I'm American. You don't do that. Right? That's what we try to throw America. We can't blame ourselves. It's got to be somebody else's fault. But in reality here, what I want us to see is, why does God allow suffering in your life? Why does he do so in my life? It's very interesting. First and foremost, he says here, remind us of a strange thing concerning that fiery trial that is to try you, that is there. We have to remember here that God wants us, God has these things come into our life, because if we're truly following Christ, who are we not following after? The world. Okay? Which is controlled by Satan. The world around us would have us to believe that God is this person who, first of all, is not a person, right? But that's what the world wants us to believe. He's a spirit who lives in us. And he is there in heaven right now. Where is he sitting at? His throne. Who was sitting on his throne? Xerxes was sitting on his throne, and Esther was there, the queen was there. See, God is sitting on his throne. He has sent his spirit, which is part of the Trinity, to live within us. But why do we need this? Why do we have to feel this way? Because it's very, very important that when we suffer, when we as Christians, we should expect suffering to take place in our life. And we might say, well, those poor people living over in Africa feel so sorry for their suffering. Americans, we are spoiled. Did you guys know that? I mean, we are so spoiled, it's unbelievable. My cell phone doesn't work. Can you guys believe they looked at my Facebook page and go up quick enough? Can you guys believe that? We're so spoiled. We have this idea that we're entitled to something. And I can remember growing up as a kid, life, we remember that we are entitled to nothing in this life. And when I try to teach my kids, you have to work for things in this world, because this world doesn't want to give it away. And culturally now, we're deciding we're going to start giving everything away. One day the bill's going to come due, guys. And in our Christian lives, the bill's going to come due one day, and we better be ready when we meet Jesus. And if he talks about that here, he talks about what is taking place here. Sometimes we might think that, I don't understand why I'm being judged. I haven't done anything wrong. Right? I remember when I was diagnosed with colon cancer. I can remember thinking to myself, first and foremost, I didn't wish it on anybody. Right? I wasn't mad at anybody because I had something they didn't. But God, I didn't do the things those people did. I didn't live like that, God. Right? It's easy to do that. It's easy to, I didn't do those things. But in reality, the Bible tells us what? For all have what? Sin and fall short of the glory of God. Every one of us. Some of us, it takes a little longer to admit to that than others, but nonetheless, that's what the Bible tells us. So as we look at this tonight, I want to share this with you. Why do you and I have to suffer this, even when it doesn't seem like it's very fair? Okay? Even when it feels like I'm a good person. How many times have you heard that from somebody? They were such a good person. I guess I'm learning over the last 3 or 4 months. I'm not quite sure what these definitions mean anymore in our world. I really don't know what it means anymore to understand what normal is. Do we have to describe it as new normal? Right? We've changed so much. But I want to tell you, who doesn't change is God. God doesn't change, his word doesn't change. And you know what? I'll let you have a little secret. That takes a lot of people off. That makes a lot of people mad. What do you mean God doesn't change? He doesn't change. And you know what? We better be grateful for that. He doesn't change. We need to be grateful not for a perverted rainbow that the world has turned it into, but for the rainbow, the glorious rainbow that God made to remind him of that. Because you see, he has kept his promise. So let's look at some things here tonight that I want us to see that is out there so that we can understand this. Now remember, Peter, here he has written to us. He reminds us, don't count it strange, don't count it weird when these things happen to you. Verse 13, he says, there's one of these passages, but rejoice. Okay? So you all better leave big smiles on your face and going, yay! That's what he said to do, not my words. But first and foremost, let's remember something. Having 9 children is a challenge. Having 1 child is a challenge, right? Moms, dads, right? Challenge. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of shake. Some nights you just shaking your head and just trying to think things out. But I'm going to take it a little step further. That's even more interesting. How many of you guys have ever raised a puppy? Raise your hand. Let me see. How many of you guys raised a puppy? I would have brought my puppy over with me here tonight. She's 7 months old right now, but she's not as obedient as she needs to be. She's working on it. But the first thing that God wants us to learn from these things is obedience. And obedience can be painful. Do you know why obedience is painful? Because I want to do what I want to do when I want to do it, and you're not going to tell me otherwise. That's why obedience is difficult. Because we want to live how we want to live. And there's no way someone's going to tell me how to live my life. Am I, guys, you hear me? Am I getting close here? Okay? But the reality is that God says we need to learn these things so we can be obedient to who, though? To Him, to God. Right? To be obedient to God. America's gotten so far away from God that we've forgotten the fact He wants us to be obedient to Him. And since America's gotten so disobedient to God, guess what else has? The church. You see, we've got to get back to what God wants us to be. Listen, we get these arguments many times. When I was in seminary, it's fun when you go to seminary and all these different backgrounds of people. You have different, just different age groups and so forth. The older people in seminary are the ones, you can just sit there and say, yeah, they're in straight A's, they're going to blow the curve. Right? Because they learn more in life and all these things. And once I got older, I was one of those who blew the curve. Okay? And I think that it's important that we understand here is that when I was in seminary, we would have all these different ideas come in, and we would talk about various truths and everything else. And in reality is that obedience is something that we didn't really spend a lot of time talking about. Because so many times we think it's a given. So many times I look at someone and think, oh, they're obedient to God. As they're going through life just struggling, holding on, but we have no idea. All right? Just struggling to hold on. But you see, He wants us to be obedient to Him. And what I want you to know something, write this down. It's to train you and I. If God understands that the first time He wants us to do something, we might be a little bit resistant to that. And then the next time it might be a little bit less resistance, and then the more along it's supposed to get better and easier. It's irritating when I tell my dog to come and she looks at me like, whatever. Okay? She does all right. You know how you get her to come? A treat. She loves them treats. You guys know what I'm talking about? How do you guys like Sundays from Dairy Queen, okay? Right? You think God knows how to get things into our life to help us be obedient? You better believe He does. And just like the opposite of when we have these pains come into our life, God also brings about joys into our life that helps to reaffirm that obedience that we need in our life. Because when He wants us to be obedient, it's not because He does so because He doesn't want us to have fun in life. It's because He wants us to make sure that we're following after Him. To be obedient. You can look that up if you'd like. That's in Hebrews chapter 5, okay? You can go back and look in there. Hebrews chapter 5, verses 7 and 8. The next one here, since, parents, raise your hand, please. Grandparents, raise your hand. Anybody who's been around a kid in their life, raise your hand. Anybody who's been a kid, raise your hand. Oh, good, we got everybody covered. All right. Okay, the next thing I want us to see here is what does this suffering produce in your life and in my life? Is one word: patience. Okay? Patience. Alright? I wouldn't be a very good doctor because my patience can be very, very, very short sometimes. You guys know what I'm talking about? Okay? So, what does God do? He puts more things into our lives to help us with that patience, to help us to be able to grasp the concept that He doesn't work on our timetable. Wouldn't it be great if God did it as soon as we asked Him to do it? Oh, and I'm going to rephrase that. Sometimes when we tell Him to do it, you see, that's what we want, but we need to learn that patience because we have to be able to trust God. We have to. You remember, I don't remember which one of the kids it was. If it was, I wouldn't tell you their names. I don't want to embarrass them. I'll just embarrass all of them at once. No, I won't do that. How many of you remember your child standing next to you in the swimming pool and you said, jump? And you hope you caught him. Right? And they were a little timid at first. Right? There was a little intimidation at first. It was very intimidating. And you may have grown a little impatient. when they jumped, this smile that was like, yay! You see, as a Christian, God wants to produce patience in you and in me. And sometimes that's through the suffering that you might face. Sometimes it might be through other things that come into your life. But Peter is reminding us of this. He says, but rejoice in the extent that you partake in Christ. Rejoice that we're capable, that we're able to do so. Rejoice that people are able to see that Christ even lives in you. When people go by a church, they think it's automatically a Christian church. They do. But does that mean that Christ is always flowing out of that church like it's supposed to be? No. But they automatically, when they see a church, they think of Christ being there. And they should, because he should be. And I want us to see this, that we need to have patience with God in our life. You can look it up in Romans chapter 5. But Paul deals with the topic of patience that is there. But let us never forget that God wants us to be patient. How many of you have ever gone somewhere and thought, I should have waited just a little bit longer? Should have been in such a big hurry. GPSs are great, you know that? They really are. They can help us get somewhere where we never thought we could. But sometimes, I was going through my closet. I think it was in my closet. You know what I found? An atlas. You guys remember what I'm talking about? Atlas? Jennifer and I drove to Alaska with an atlas. Okay? It's actually, you know what you need to do sometimes is leave your phone at home. Leave your GPS at home and get out an old atlas. It's actually quite interesting. You're going to miss out along the, it's not going to tell you, and 300 feet you will turn left. Right? You just figure out where to turn. Okay? You see, I want us to be patient. I want us to be obedient to God. And the third thing I want us to see here is about prevention. Okay? Every month, my dog gets medication to prevent fleas and other things. Every day you might take medication to help prevent health problems in your life, right? Every day we do preventative things so that we can stay healthy. In our life, something else that God wants us to do is that he wants you and I to sometimes have to have suffering in our life to prevent pride from setting in. Okay? Pride is extremely dangerous. Pride is now listen, do not think that pride and arrogance are the same thing, because they're not. Okay? They're not the same thing. Pride is something that will stop you from being who God wants you to be, because you don't think that you have to do something, because you don't think you have to try hard enough, because you don't think that you can do something. Or you know what? More sad is that I already know how to do it. I already know how to do it. It's pride. Rick, don't you tell me anything. I know it all already. That's pride, isn't it? It's pride. It's not arrogance. It's not arrogance, it's pride. You're not going to tell me nothing. You see, here, he wants us to prevent that from happening. You and I can't grow in our walk with Christ if we have pride that's stopping us from learning from him and from his word. How many of you, if you're honest with yourselves, loved it when you were, I guess I'll put it this way. If you're older, and would you rather sit under a Sunday school classroom or in a classroom with somebody who's 40 years younger than you are, or somebody who's your same age? The odds are somebody your same age. Okay? There's a lot of reasons for it. But one of them is because you're not quite sure what you learn from somebody who's old enough to be their father or their mother. Okay? And that is pride that slides in there and gets in the way. And he doesn't want us to have these things. So, in order to keep you and I in check, because we all have to stay in check, suffering comes into our life. Sometimes greater than others. How many of you would say that you're thick-headed, stubborn? Okay? Okay, go like this. Everybody go like this. Please, everybody go like this. All right. We all are, right? Okay, I will tell you this, that we're all 2-year-olds in adult clothing. We just learn different ways to deal with the things that we used to throw a fit about when we were 2 years old. Okay? All right? How do I know that? Because we still get upset about so many things that 2-year-olds get upset about. And we let them just direct our life and tell us how we're going to live and how we're not going to live. God doesn't want us to be that way. He says, prevent that pride in your life, in my life. Because it will destroy our relationship with God. And it will destroy our relationship with one another. The next thing I want us to see here is this. to teach his ways. Jeremiah said that, he said there's something very, very interesting. He said, your ways are not my ways. Right? And we need to understand is that God wants us to learn his ways, to teach them. The saddest person that you never meet in your life is someone who refuses to be taught. Okay? I don't care what their age is. I don't care what their occupation is. If they do not want to be taught, it's very sad. Now, the second thing that I want us to understand about teaching is this. I want you to write this down, is teaching his ways. Because his ways are not like ours, right? What are ours about? Ours are about ourselves. Okay, ours are about us and who we are, who we think we are, who we think we can be or want to be. And here we see him reminding us to be there for him and teach us his ways. When I hear people who profess to be Christians and the words that come out of their mouth are not his ways, it's scary. It's scary. A friend of mine recently told me that there's a college that his son goes to, that the church, the school is starting to come back to where it needs to be. Within the Southern Baptist Convention, we need to start turning back to where we need to be. Because we're drifting away a little bit from where we were founded and who we are. Exactly. I've been asked the question before, is why am I a Southern Baptist? I'm a Southern Baptist because I believe in the teachings of the Southern Baptist Church. And then we teach the Word of God. And there's a lot of other denominations that do as well. They're not questioning that. But what I want us to understand is that we have to teach his ways through his Word. Not through doctrine that I think is important or that you think is important, but his doctrine, his ways to people around us. And if people see a church and they don't see God and his doctrine, we've messed up. Okay, we've messed up. And it's really, really important that we do so. The next thing, there's two more things I want to share with you, and that is also suffering. And that is simply this, to prepare us to comfort others. Okay? Have you ever said, I know how you feel? Like this. Come on. When somebody has a problem or struggle. And genuinely, maybe you do, right? And generally, you've had the same struggle in your life. See, that's why God prepared you with that struggle. And it's important that we remember this because God wants us to be able to comfort others who need to be comforted, who need to hear that God loves them. And not just in the passing phrase as we walk by. Every time I see the football game on TV, it'll say John 3:16, or it'll say some Bible verse. That's in a passing way that has absolutely no personal meaning to anybody. They just see it on the screen and it just goes right on through. That's not what this is talking about. He's talking about here to make sure you and I make sure that we are prepared to comfort others. And I want us to go with one more thing. Go down with me one more time, if you would, please. To verse 14. Okay? Listen to what it says. It says this to us. If you are reproached for the name of Christ, blessed are you, for the Spirit of glory and of God rests upon you. On their part he is blasphemed, but on your part he is glorified. And what this refers to here is reminding us that he's proving us. Okay? You ever hear people say, prove it? I don't believe you unless you have to prove it, right? Well, you see, one of the things that we have to understand is proving something sometimes takes a little while. Sometimes it takes a little while. Sometimes it takes us to have to go through a little bit of fiery trials to prove it. And here we see him reminding us of this, that we need to have these things in our life. And in closing, how many of you ladies or men have seen a real pearl? A real pearl, not mini pearl, okay, not mini pearl. And again, if you know who she is, look her up, Randall Lopry, okay? A real pearl, right? Let me see your hand, real pearl. They're beautiful. They really, truly are. Does anybody know how they get started? By an irritation. A piece of sand, and it irritates them. It irritates the oyster, it irritates them. But what happens is when this speck of sand gets inside of this oyster, what happens is they begin to coat it so that it becomes less irritable to the oyster. And ultimately, we know that little tiny A little speck of sand. Have you ever tried to pick up a speck of sand? They're tiny. Right? That little tiny speck of sand becomes a beautiful pearl. A beautiful pearl. And what I want you to see, that little irritant that was there, it came out to be a beautiful thing. When suffering comes into your life, when suffering comes into my life, when suffering comes into the life of the church, it's like that pearl. Okay? God has to allow these irritants, these persecutions, if you will, these sufferings, if you will, come into the church for His greatness and for His glory. So that ultimately, we can develop into who God wants us to be. Ultimately, so that people don't see the dirty speck of sand that got in there, but the beautiful pearl that it produces. God wants you and I to be a beautiful pearl. Yep, it's going to hurt along the way. But when it's all said and done, that's what people are going to see. Most people have any idea that a pearl comes from an irritant, from a suffering, from a difficulty. But when it produces that bit of pearl, what a beautiful thing it is. And in your life, and in my life, and the life of His church, this suffering that comes in will keep coming. Will keep coming in your life, will keep coming in the life of the church until we understand and we develop our strength and we develop the character that God wants us to be. Because He doesn't want us to have, He doesn't want to have a partial character. He wants to have a good character, a beautiful character, where people can see Him through you and through me. And I hope tonight we can all say, you know what? I've had suffering. I'm not going to mope around anymore about it. I'm not going to let it drag me down. But what am I going to learn from it? That a great, beautiful pearl can come out and people can see Jesus Christ through me. Brother Donnie, would you come?
Would you stand with us, please, as we sing I Surrender All, page 275.
Will you surrender to Him right now? Whatever it is you need to give, right where you're sitting. Whatever it is, will you give it to Him? Will you surrender all to Him right now? Will you surrender all to Him right now? We let that happen right now. Maybe you need to give anything like you want to get to. So God, whatever you want me to do, okay, I'll do it. I'm trying to put my own way up to it. Maybe there's suffering in your life right now. What do you need to learn from it? How do you need to let it affect and change your life? May you come back to Him right now, right where you're sitting. Trust Him right now. Surrender all to Him. Father God, I thank You for Your word. And Lord, when this suffering comes into all of our lives, that, Lord, we'll ask ourselves, Lord, how is it going to draw me closer to You? I pray, Father God, right now that we will learn from it. Let it change our lives. Let it change Your church. Let us, Lord, be who you want us to be. And Lord, that you will just continue to reveal your heart to every one of us. I thank you, Lord, ahead of time for what you're going to do in our lives as we serve you faithfully. And Lord, I just ask right now that Lord, you watch over everyone that's here tonight and those who may be watching and listening, Lord, that Lord, you will bless their lives. They'll feel your presence near like never before. And Lord, that they will trust you and will surrender all to you. And I ask these things in your name. Amen. Thank you for coming out tonight.